We are recording.
Hello?
Systems on?
Yes. Hello?
John Drill here.
Hi, this is Beth McDonough.
Hi, John. Hi, Beth.
Hi, John. Hi, Beth.
Hello?
Is Jim on it?
Jim is not on it. We're going to start. We have to start right now. Please read the notice. Let's get going. It's
Okay,
5
we're
after
recording.
7.
All right. Greenwich Township Committee, December 18th, 2014. Open public meeting notice. Adequate notice of this meeting was given in accordance with the Open Public Meeting Act by mailing the schedule of the Township Committee to the Express Times and North Star Ledger News Poster, paper, posting a copy on the Township Bulletin Board and on the Township website, filing a copy with the Township Clerk. We're good. Roll call. Bailey's?
Yes.
Emiliani? Here. Adams? Absent. Polari?
Here.
Toriello?
Here.
Okay. Motion to go into executive session regarding?
Well, before we make the motion, we have many items to address in executive session, and I don't know that we're going to be able to get them all accomplished in the time which has been advertised. So I think in the spirit of trying to not keep the public waiting, we'll go into executive session for 7 to 7:45 to address, I'm going to call for a motion to go into executive session to discuss confidential attorney advice regarding Township Housing Plan element and Fair Share Plan and declaratory judgment action, and Resolution 2014-71 to discuss sewer buyback for Township-owned Millstein lot, Resolution 2014-72, Affordable Housing Trust Fund audit. We will defer the contract negotiation discussions for after we finish the public part of the business. We will discuss the COA Revere Road. John, do you and Beth need to be on this?
No.
Okay.
Not me. Maybe Beth. I only need to be on for those confidential attorney advice, the first three matters.
Beth, do you need to be on for those COA matters? Those two foreclosure matters?
I'm certainly aware of the situation, but I was not prepared for a conversation tonight, so I'll leave that to your discretion.
Okay.
I'm perfectly happy to stay on the line.
Okay, I'm getting a nod from some elected officials, so I'm going to add that as part of my motion to go in to discuss COA 133 Revere Road estate issues and 118 Revere Road resolution hardship waiver 2014-69. I will exclude from the motion to go into executive session the discussion of litigation, and I will exclude going into executive session discussion all personnel matters with the exception of going into executive session, we will defer all matters with the exception of discussing the acting court administrator investigation. So can I have that motion?
I make the motion.
A second. Roll call.
Bailey's?
Yes.
Emiliani? Yes. Adams?
Yes.
Polari?
Yes.
Toriello?
Yes. All right, I'm going to turn off the recording. Is the door closed?
I'm going to go shut it.
Second last page.
Okay, so you have that on?
In the summary?
I turned both things on.
No, before the summary, yeah.
Okay, we are recording.
So, just so I'm clear, Frank, when we come out of executive, I'm going to make the motion now, right? To suspend? Am I doing...
Can't we do that after the next session?
He's saying he wants,
Okay, that's fine.
he wants to read the whole thing first.
Not that my opinion is the same.
It's only fair.
That's fine.
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay, good, thanks. Everything ready for the...
I'm going to work through it. If we miss anything, we'll deal with it.
Okay. Sorry, I'm keeping track.
Yes, please do. We have to get going. Okay. First of all, I apologize for being late. We have a very ambitious agenda, so I apologize.
Okay, we ready? Okay, public session of the December 18th, 2014 Township Committee meeting. And we will all rise for the flag salute, please. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay. Can I have a motion authorizing Township Planner to prepare a draft housing element for adoption by the Planning Board?
I'll make that motion. Second.
We're going to do not to exceed?
By the way, am I reading this, or is that separate from,
That's the resolution John wrote.
oh my gosh, let's see.
That's the 71.
You know what?
It's 71.
Let me do it by number. Can I have a motion to adopt Resolution 2014-71, a resolution authorizing Elizabeth McManus to prepare a housing plan element of the master plan and fair share plan for third-round Mount Laurel compliance, and authorizing Jonathan Drill to prepare and file a declaratory judgment action for third-round Mount Laurel compliance and immunity, and authorizing Township Engineer to participate to the extent necessary for a total fee not to exceed $28,000.
Make the motion.
I will second.
Comment? Roll call.
Bailey? Miliani? Yes. Adams?
Yes.
Laurie?
Yes.
Torriello?
Yes. Can I have a motion?
2014.
Yeah, I'm looking for, I had everything written
All right,
here.
the next one is the hardship waiver.
I can do that one while I'm looking for the other one that I wanted. Can I have a motion to adopt Resolution 2014-69, a hardship waiver for 118 Revere Road?
Make the motion.
I'll second.
Comment? Roll call.
Bailey?
Yes.
Miliani? Yes. Adams?
Yes.
Laurie?
Yes.
Torriello?
Yes. And can I have a motion adopting Resolution 2014-72, which is a resolution authorizing the issuance of notices by the Township of Greenwich for the repurchase of 25,000 gallon per day of unused sewer allocation in connection with the Township-sponsored affordable housing?
I'll make that motion. Second.
Comment? Roll call.
Bailey?
Yes.
Miliani? Yes. Adams?
Yes.
Laurie?
Yes.
Torriello?
Yes. Can I have a this is a first reading of ordinance 2014-05, an ordinance providing funding for repurchase of 25,000 gallons per day of unused sewer and appropriating $215,767.92 from the sewer capital fund balance.
Make the motion.
I'll second.
Comment? Roll call.
Bailey?
Yes.
Miliani? Yes. Adams?
Yes.
Laurie?
Yes.
Torriello?
Yes. We did 118 Revere Road. We did not do 133. So can I have a motion to authorize Township Attorney to proceed in filing necessary paperwork with the Warren County Surrogate in connection with 133 Revere Road involving the state issues, consistent with the terms discussed in executive session?
Kim, can you provide the letter that they said that they sent to you in June, to Frank?
It's in the packet.
Okay.
You know what?
Everything's in the packet.
Okay.
I'll make that motion.
Second. I'm sorry.
Comment? Roll call.
Bailey?
Yes.
Miliani? Yes. Adams?
Yes.
Laurie?
Yes.
Torriello?
Yes. Can I have a motion authorizing the township clerk to distribute the result of the audit trust fund to township professionals for verification of fees and services posted to that account?
I'll make that motion.
I'll second.
Comment? Roll call.
Bailey?
Yes.
Miliani?
Yes.
Adams?
Yes.
Laurie?
Yes.
Torriello?
Can we add
Yes.
that $42,000 review in there somewhere?
Oh,
To include the...
well, I'd have to do it again.
Just amend it.
So can I have a motion to vacate the prior motion that was just adopted? Can I have a motion?
I'm going to make a motion to vacate my own motion. I'll make that motion.
I'll second it.
Okay.
Comment, roll call.
Yes.
Bailey's, Miliani.
Yes.
Adams.
Yes.
Lori.
Yes.
Coriolo.
Yes. Now, can I have a motion authorizing the township clerk to contact township professionals and share the COA trust fund audit and to discuss fees posted by the professionals to that account and to review a particular charge, alleged payment of $42,000 to then Phillipsburg Hyundai.
And to include Stuart Koenig's opinion and what Stuart Koenig's comments were about that application. I'll make the motion.
I'll second it. Comment, roll call.
Bailey's.
Yes.
Miliani.
Yes.
Adams.
Yes.
Lori.
Yes.
Coriolo.
Yes. Can I have a motion adopting Resolution 2014-67, which is a resolution rescinding the award of a professional services contract to Hatchmont McDonald for Task 1 assessed sewer collection system in connection with the Township of Greenwich sewer system infiltration and inflow study.
Make the motion.
I'll second.
Comment, roll call.
Bailey's.
Yes.
Miliani.
Yes.
Adams.
Yes.
Lori.
Yes.
Coriolo.
Yes. Did I miss anything?
Buyback
The
now.
buyback
Buyback.
for NAPA.
Which is...
1468.
Okay. Can I have a motion authorizing resolution number 2014-68, which is a resolution authorizing disbursement of funds for the repurchase of 4159 GPD of unused sewage allocation in connection with sewer usage of Quaker City Motor Parts, paren, Napa Mini Mall, closed paren.
Make the motion.
I'll second.
Comment, roll call.
Bailey's.
Yes.
Miliani.
Yes.
Lori.
Yes.
Adams.
Yes.
Coriolo.
Yes. So just to make sure I didn't miss anything, we covered everything, right?
We covered everything and just make a motion to have a special meeting for December 23rd at 8 p.m.
Okay, can I have a motion for a special meeting?
Okay.
Wait till afterwards.
Wait till afterwards?
Yeah.
Okay, all right. So that's it then, right? We covered that. This is all going to be... Can I have a motion for the payment of bills in the amount of $156,952.95 as amended?
Motion.
I'll second it. Comment? Roll call.
Bailey's.
Uh,
It's amended. It's loose.
It's the copy in front of you.
I didn't get a chance to, I'll abstain. I didn't get a chance to
Okay.
see them amending it.
Miliani.
Yes.
Adams.
I'll abstain too.
Lori.
Yes.
Coriolo.
Yes. Okay.
Yeah.
I will, I promise you. I'm looking for, let's see it. Looking for the police report reports. I know I saw it in here
Yeah.
before. I don't know if it's part of the tab. I want to make sure they're both here.
Jim, can you
Where
take
the police
those
and
pass
DPW
those down,
reports?
please?
What tab?
They were,
Can you take those down and pass them down? And what did you want the police?
I don't
The
see it.
reports are in your tab 2.
So, have to. There's no DPW report.
Yep.
EPW reports are loose in front of you.
No, I'm not accepting that. So I haven't seen
Well,
anything.
that's what you-
Yeah, I haven't seen that. It's not part of the package. It was submitted late.
Well, I don't have DPW on the agenda.
Can I have a motion to adopt monthly reports from police and court?
Make the motion.
A second.
Comment, roll call.
Bailey's.
Yes.
Miliani.
Yes.
Adams.
Yes.
Lori.
Yes.
Coriolo.
Yes, and for the record, DPW reports are not considered because they were submitted untimely. Can I have a motion, do we want to, has everybody had a chance to review the minutes, or should I table that until the next meeting?
I would table at least to that special meeting.
Okay, all right, so I'm going to table that right now. Can I have a motion to adopt Resolution 2014-65, a resolution authorizing the redemption of tax lien,
That's it.
So it was just handed down to you. It was revised from Bonnie.
Right there, Bonnie.
regarding Block 23.30, Lot 19, Block 2, Lot 11, Block 23.13, Lot 9, Block 23.26, Lots 7 and 1, and I can't total that amount up.
You don't have to, we just have to
Okay.
read into the record which ones you're releasing.
Okay, which I've done.
Yes.
Can I have a motion?
I'll make the motion.
I'll second.
Comment? Roll call.
Bailey's?
Yes.
Miliani?
Yes.
Adams? Lori?
Yes.
Torriello?
Yes. And can I have a motion to adopt Resolution 2014-64, I'm sorry, where is that? Is that tab 4?
It is
3.
3.
Tab 3.
Should be pretty much the last page in tab 3.
66?
Mm-hmm.
The agenda said, oh, I see, motion to adopt Resolution 2014-66, a refund of sewer overpayment to Block 26, Lot 5, and Block 26, Lot 26.
I'll make the motion.
I'll second.
Comment? Roll call.
Bailey's?
Yes.
Miliani?
Yes.
Adams?
Yes.
Lori?
Yes.
Torriello?
Yes. And can I have a motion to open up the meeting for the first public comment period, which is for the purpose of discussing agenda items only?
I'll make the motion.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Anyone wishing to make public comment on agenda items, please come up and state your name and address. Seeing no hands, can I have a motion to close the first public comment period?
Make the motion.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
First item on my agenda is Resolution 2014-64, which is a resolution that we previously voted on and adopted, but subsequent to the reading and adoption of Resolution 2014-64, there was a communication from the school board suggesting that they did not receive notice. We can go back and forth whether we can agree or disagree on their position. Unfortunately, given their prior propensity to engage in frivolous litigation, I think it really is prudent for the taxpayer that we just re-notice them and re-vote on the resolution. So this time, we sent things through our attorney. Was it registered and certified mail, Frank?
Certified, and the green card came back.
Okay, so we know now that we at least now have the written documentation to shield us from any potential frivolous litigation. So with that said, can I have a motion to adopt Resolution 2014-64, establishing the election of members of the Greenwich Township Board of Education as the first Tuesday after the first Monday in November?
Make the motion.
I'll second.
Comment? Roll call.
Bailey's?
Yes.
Miliani?
Yes.
Adams?
Yes.
Lori?
Yes.
Torriello?
Yes. I received a communication from Bob Hurt regarding the Historical Commission. They would like the Township Committee's approval to, in 2015, to utilize the Presbyterian Church for their meetings instead of the municipal building. Bob had indicated he's an elder at the church. He has permission from the church. They feel that it's a better location. I think the only issue was, Kim brought this up, and I may have missed it in the communication. I think they were also talking about moving the records, which are township records. I don't
And they're
know.
at the old school.
Why isn't the meeting open to the public?
Huh?
Commission meetings are open to the public,
Yes.
Yeah.
so why wouldn't they be held here?
Because they stated in the email that there's conflicts. A lot of times when they have a meeting, they get bumped and everything, and they can't go downstairs if they get bumped. And they just
How many
Bumped by
times
who?
have they bumped this year?
probably twice, 3 times.
Bumped by what?
Plus
By
what
the
they want-
township,
plus-
bumped by what? The township committee or bumped by
Yes,
another
bumped by
committee?
the committee. Plus, more so their records. They want to put it in the church because they were downstairs, but because of the change and the renovations downstairs, they were...
That, yeah, I can tell you right now, we don't have to have much of a conversation on that. We can't tender township records to a third party. That can't happen. That's not even worth discussing. That's got to be a violation of some statute somewhere. So, unless they're bonded and they're in the business of it, where there's companies that do that. So that's, if the purpose is to relocate the records, that I don't think we can accommodate. But, Elaine raises a point. I mean, I thought if we just advertised it on the township webpage, that's where the meetings were, that might address it. But I see your point in terms of, people just automatically assume when Greenwich Township business is being conducted, you come to the municipal building. So if we start relocating things, I could see where it could add to, to some confusion. So, Bob had asked that we, I really didn't have a preference one way or the other.
Can we just make sure that somehow that they're not bumped, or whatever meeting that we would have would be after their meeting or something?
No, it was
As opposed to
special
some
meetings of
bumping
the
them?
township committee, when we looked at the calendar.
I don't remember even meeting on a Monday.
When did they normally meet at 7 o'clock?
Thursday.
What's that?
Their meetings are on a Thursday.
We did have a couple of meetings.
Why can't
No,
they
their
have...
meetings are on, their meetings used to be
Yeah,
on a Monday.
Thursday.
On a Monday, I think.
Beginning of this year was Monday. I
And we
attended.
switched, and then we switched it over to the Monday.
Wait, but
We
I thought their meetings were on
had
Monday.
things that they got bumped.
That's okay, but I'm saying originally the meetings were on Monday, that I thought.
No, their meetings used to be on Thursday,
Okay.
and now they're switched over to Mondays.
Why can't they have that as an alternate, if they get bumped? And they can advertise, they would know enough time in advance that the meeting would be bumped, and we could advertise it on our site that this month the meeting would be at the Presbyterian Church.
I know for a fact that the meetings were on Monday. They conflicted for myself with rescue squad meetings. And it was either or.
They meet the second Monday of the month
Yes.
at 7:30. So that's when they meet.
So the conflict would be in the beginning of the year
I
when we
think they're
have,
mad because...
even having two meetings.
So I think, no. I
We
think
did the first and the third. We did the first and the third Thursday, when we had our two. It was always on a Thursday.
But their meetings are always scheduled on Monday.
We almost never meet on Mondays.
Yeah, it's not that we bumped them. It's
He said
the
they've
placement
been bumped.
of...
He said
Yeah,
they've
well,
been
look,
bumped.
I think maybe what we could do is, it sounds like, if that's their issue and concern, we'll,
Court will go away,
yes,
maybe.
that's right. So, we'll be able to, we're gonna have more time in that respect as well, too. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. So, it sounds like maybe what the suggestion is, I take back what Angelo said in terms of, we keep it here, we'll try not to, interfere with the schedule if that's their concern, but to the extent that that is the case, that could be approved as an emergency alternate site.
Okay.
Does that make
And
sense?
also the records.
So then can I have,
But not for the storage of
yeah,
files.
the
So
records?
we'll deny that in your
Yes,
motion.
okay. So can I have a motion authorizing me as the liaison to communicate to the Historical Commission that they are authorized to use the Presbyterian Church for emergency situations when, the township building is not available, and to deny their request to relocate records.
I'll make the motion.
I'll second.
Comment, roll call.
Bailey's? Miliani?
Yes.
Laurie?
Yes.
Adams?
Yes.
Torriello?
Yes. Tom, I received I don't know, and Joe, I see you're here, I don't know who to, there was a letter I was CC'd on from the state police regarding the emergency operations plan. I thought I saw there was some extension for that.
But we filed. We have it. It's done.
So this is just a form letter that they blindly send out wasting taxpayer money, both in terms of the postage, the
Right.
paper,
Right.
and the elected officials' time and having to read it.
And the
Okay,
person's
great.
trying to compose.
So that can go into the trash.
Do we know?
Thank you, State of New Jersey. Okay, and thank you, Joe. Just, two other, one update for everybody. We had our video and sound system updated, so now our township meetings record not only us on the dais, but the audience as well. So if you were to go on to the township web page for all future meetings, there's going to be a split screen, so that, the entire meeting is captured on video. Also, for security reasons, we're but not only for that, we've made some upgrades to the system in terms of having it in a tower and appropriately locked so that things can't be tampered with. So, and thank you, Kim, for your quick hustle on that and getting the turnaround on that was excellent.
And there will be a box sitting underneath a lock cabinet.
Yeah, I saw that.
He's getting me a quote for that.
Yeah, that'll be great, so thank you. I received a letter, and this is an item that's not listed on the agenda, from a resident, and I'm gonna just summarize it. She copied the governor's office, writing saying she's appealing personally to me for help and to the township committee. She's single, 75 years of age. She moved to Stewartsville on November 1st of 2013, at which time her real estate taxes were $8,000. And within 3 months, she says, her taxes are now $10,500. And she said she's made inquiry to various resources and entities, and no one has been able to help her, and she's appealing to help, given the tough financial situation that she's in. I don't know that they're, she's 75. So, there are programs where you can stabilize, but, that's not what she's really looking for. She said she moved here from Chester because the taxes were approximately $2,500 less, now she moved out here, and, she's getting hit hard, and this is just, really just a continuation of what I believe to be the insensitivity of what we've seen in, the tax increases of other entities, within Greenwich Township. And we need to really start taking a hard look at this. This is affecting people's real lives, and I know, again, earlier this year, there were people in the audience demanding here that we raise taxes. They were saying, come on, it's only 2 cents, it's only 2 cents, you gotta raise taxes. And this is just an example of why I think we as a township committee did the right thing in not doing it, because we seem to be the only elected officials who take into consideration one's ability to pay taxes as opposed to others just increasing. And a 33% increase in 1 year is just simply unconscionable. Something needs to change.
It's also the county, we have to say.
I said other entities. I didn't mention a specific entity. But the one thing it is not is us. I mean, we went 3 years with no tax increases. But, the Pavlovian response of every year just increasing taxes to satisfy spending just is not sustainable. And, this letter from, Mrs. Dolan, serves as a reminder to all of us that when we make decisions in terms of how we're expending money, it affects people. And that's all. I just wanted to comment on that. Jim?
Okay, I wanted to, I'm a friend of Vivian North. She contacted me regarding the Roy North 5K run scheduled for next year, and wanted to get committee approval. I'm sorry, I do not have the specific dates with me. No, I don't think the dates have been set. I think you're right. I think you're right. She was just seeking approval for the 5K run. I've had subsequent conversations with Tom regarding the costs associated with these runs based upon some of the discussions from last year. And, Tom, do you want to, or I can state what was our discussion, that we make use of the fire police?
Right, we had originally discussed last year approving police overtime for that, and given our state of that, we looked outside the box to see what other options are there from a legal standpoint and safety standpoint from people being certified to look at traffic that way. So we know that the fire police are certified and trained in those aspects of blocking roads and putting up barriers and whatnot. So I had called Chief Mexi and asked him on a couple of occasions for certain instances to spare overtime to the payable by the taxpayer to somewhat utilize these guys on occasion, rare occasion, to diffuse that type of burden from the taxpayer. And he said on those occasions it would be doable as long as it was approved by the chief of police, because he is inevitably in control of those operations entirely when we shut down roads. So we had put it out there, and Chief Mexi had stated that it's doable, but we can't set the precedent going forward with any more events, because we don't want to set the precedent of saying, hey, you know what, Stewartsville is going to be the 5K capital of New Jersey. We're going to have a 5K for everything, but going forward, I mean, for now, it's doable, but we need to look at it. If we add any more events, we'd have to revisit it and really consider what a permanent solution would be. So.
Okay, and also, with regard to the actual route of the 5K,
that was discussed with the chief, and chief, you can comment if you want, but I think the chief had looked at pretty much a lot of viable options in the town with regards to what's the safest route, what's the least impact and disruption to any one area of residence, and what's the least amount of roads to be closed for a certain period of time. And I think this route we've asked them to look at multiple times, and I think we've left it at that. Is that correct? Is that okay to say?
Yes.
So it's the minimal amount of cost to the taxpayer. It's the safest route. It's not one development taking all the pain. It's spreading it out across, not one circle for 2 hours, 3 hours on one side of the road. So it needs to be stretched out a little bit. Plus, you want to add to some of the uniqueness of the 5K as well. People don't want to run in a circle; they do it up at the Phillipsburg High School.
Well, I could tell you this. After I raised this issue earlier, after the rain, because I received multiple complaints from residents that they were being treated rudely by certain police officer. That they were locked into their driveways and couldn't leave, and they asked if we could revisit the route and have an alternate route. And it was in the context of those conversations, I raised the issue, or somebody raised the issue, who's paying for the overtime. And it came out that we were, as a township, and that's something we can't do. First of all, I'm not even sure that it's legal. Because they're private entities. That would be analogous to a township gifting or donating to a private entity, which you can't do with tax dollars. So I think it's problematic from a legal standpoint. Setting that aside, it's just poor policy, because then you get into the situation of picking and choosing, and then, like you said, then we become the 5K capital. It's not fair to the taxpayer. And I have some friends who run, smaller events, and it is very typical that the event sponsor pay the costs associated with police overtime, so that and it's just something where whatever the line is, that's part of. So instead of selling your shirt for $20, you're going to sell it for $30. But I heard you say, Tom, that we've looked into alternate routes. I know I've asked the question. I never saw an alternate route. I've never received a piece of paper or an email that suggests even, here's an alternate route and here's why it doesn't work. So, I would like to know if there is a route that could utilize, for example, a larger portion of school property or other property where there are no roads, even if it means that they have to loop twice,
And go over different
and go over different, terrain where you could minimize even the need of having to have police overtime. I mean, we create the need for overtime based upon the route. And, I have not seen anything in writing to address that.
I know
And-
that the Norths had proposed, I want to say 2 routes, or one or 2 routes, and they were checked out by the chief, and they're just unfeasible. I looked at them, they just weren't feasible. It was just pretty much drawing a line saying, close all these roads down, and it just wasn't happening, so it had gone to the chief, and we had thought that looking at the original school Stinger Sprint 5K was probably the better option because of
I
at
think
least
the
some of the roads.
probably one of the most difficult things, though, was the residents who were affected
Right.
were prepared for the Stinger. I don't know that they were as prepared for the Roy North race.
Right, I think there was poor
kind of
communication on that 5K.
Yeah.
I do
And that was
believe
the
so.
first
I mean,
one, so we were
right.
learning as we
Right,
go
so
along.
we can do a little bit more than that. And I remember it being probably 2 complaints in writing into our boxes at that time about being locked into driveways for a period of time. But, Chief, you have some comments?
The route is not established by us. It's
Right.
established by whatever organization, they come to us and say, this is just, we can't go out and mileage how much 5K is, and that's part of their job. But once they get a route, they present it to us, and then, I'll look at it for safety and, also for the Roy North. I'd let you know if they're saying in the email of how much overtime was going to cost and the officers. The other alternative was that South Main Street Beatties Road
Right.
route, which
That
was
was
a
shut
lot
down
of-
everything.
You're
Yeah.
talking about county roads.
Right.
So,
Right.
but
What was the cost for the overtime for the Roy North event?
I don't have that on my head. I can send it.
Yeah,
Email
it's,
back in the,
was it 2 officers shutting down that juncture? I'm still going off the top of my head, it was a while ago. 2 officers at a mandatory 3 hours?
We just had?
Yeah.
No, we had a lot more officers than that because we had, well, you know what?
Why don't we just,
Yeah, we can
why don't we
table
just
it.
table it?
Right. We can table it and go
He
through it.
doesn't
I'll
have
get
a
it, I'll
date.
get it.
We don't,
But but like I said, we're taking that to present us where they want to run around, and then we can, take a look at where posts need to be set up, where officers have to be set up, and where we can close roads as opposed to having an officer there directing traffic. In the past, with all these 5Ks that we've had, citizens, the community, they're allowed to get out of the development. They're not stuck in their driveway. They're allowed to get out, because that's why we have officers at certain posts, so they can allow traffic to get out. They're not stuck. But there might be one avenue that's shut down. For instance, at the intersection of Daniel Drive and Wyndham, that might be shut down at Daniel Drive there. But they can go around the other side and get out up at Doherty. So we make it an avenue, but there might have been not a lot of notification for the Roy North because it was their first one. But they have to send a notification out to the community to let them know, hey, there's going to be a race here and speculate.
Yeah, and you know what, that actually, that's another issue that I remember, and we need to, and Jim, this goes to the point about
mandatory.
following some sort of policies and procedures.
We don't have them.
Because there was a race in the town, there was a notice that was sent out to residents, and as an elected official, I knew of neither. That's crazy.
Yeah, I had heard
Like
stuff got put in
we
people's
can't-
mailboxes, and that's illegal too. You can't stuff people's mailboxes.
Correct.
Because that's a federal offense.
Correct.
I mean, they were just sticking things in people's mailboxes, and only half the people got them. They ran out of them, and it was a little.
Yeah, the organization.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, certainly the organization should be putting forth proposals.
Marketing plans.
They should be conferring with our professionals and the police department, but then that proposal needs to come to the governing body for approval, so that we can ensure that there's proper notices, that we need to even approve what's going to be mailed out, in terms of making sure that, it's a sufficient notice, because ultimately, we're responsible. We're the ones who are going to get the phone calls, we're the ones who are going to get the letters, so, we need to know what's going on and make sure that it's done in an appropriate fashion. So
can we put a checklist together on all the things that the people for the Roy North need to do,
Yeah.
so that this way, it's an easy follow for Jim to kind of like
Yeah,
I just
submit to
started one,
them,
right?
so that they can
Can we do a
actually...
checklist without a
Do a
flow chart?
checklist.
I just started one.
Do a
I'm gonna have to
checklist.
do multicolor,
I can do it for police-wise, what...
Yeah.
Yeah, that'd be great. If you can get that to Tom, yeah, that would be great.
Yeah.
And I think at this point, we're going to move on, we're going to table this now.
Thanks, Chief.
And at the next, we could do it at the 30th meeting if you want, Jim, if we get a date.
23rd.
Or the 23rd, you know, well, no, let's do it on 30th, let's do it on 30th. And so, all right, Christmas tree cleanup, do we have dates, Jim?
We got everything for Christmas tree. I'll
We
have more
do.
success with this one. Here we go. All right.
It
So,
is online, isn't it?
approval for the Christmas tree cleanup, advertising dates. We have it on the website. We also want to authorize in the Greenwich Gazette. January 10th and 17th. Those are both Saturdays from 9 a.m. to 12 a.m. 12 p.m. Would be the correct time. We're not doing that. We're not doing it around the clock.
I'll help out again this year.
Good. And it's only real trees, no ornaments, no tinsel, no garland.
I have to pick the tinsel off my tree?
Yes. And,
Really?
And leave your artificial one at home. Is tinsel still a word?
I have it on my tree.
What
is that, a Brooklyn tree?
It's a Brooklyn.
So if I can have a motion for approval for the Christmas tree cleanup?
Make the motion.
I'll second it. Comment, roll call. Yes. Why did I go first?
Yes, she's tired.
Yes.
Yes.
Everybody?
Yes.
Yeah.
You're just mixing it up, right?
Okay. Appointment of Clean Communities Coordinator. So,
Just so you know, that resolution is 73, not 72.
all right, let the reflect, all right, so it's in tab 4, middle of the thing, middle of the paper, and it's marked as 72, you want it to be 73.
I never got a chance. You have no
Okay.
idea what my life is like.
So at this point, I know we've had some discussion on this, we've gone back and forth. Do we have clarification, do we have, before I read this motion, or request a motion, do we have any questions on this resolution? I just want to read what it is to announce to everybody. It's designating the Township Environmental Commission to advise the Township Committee as to the expenditure of any funds dispersed to the Township of Greenwich by the New Jersey Clean Communities Program and establishing the position of Clean Communities Coordinator.
My question is this, Jim, and I saw back and forths, and I know there have been several different iterations of this. This has been on the agenda probably for months now.
Since September.
Since September, but who's counting?
April?
No,
I've been corrected.
Has it been since April? Did we start in April?
It wasn't formally.
And I want to go back to a 10,000-foot level in terms of why we need a resolution. First of all, a resolution is only good for a year. So if we adopt this resolution on January 1st, it becomes mooted. I mean, you could do it again, you could do it every year, but the other thing is, you know, designating the Township Environmental Commission to advise the Township Committee. That's what any commission should be doing anyway, shouldn't they?
Can I give you a short answer?
Yes.
At the time this was discussed back in April and May.
Was it really April?
Yeah. The idea was that we were getting Clean Communities money and we needed to properly, number one, establish a Clean Communities coordinator, and number two...
Because the grant requires it, right?
Grant requires
That I
it.
agree
Okay.
with.
First thing the month.
Okay.
So what happened was, at that point, we had discussions back and forth about, we had to change from the planning and the combined land use board, so we wanted to make sure the land use board, everything was going to jive with all the different committees and the township.
Okay.
John Drill got involved, revised it a couple of times.
That explains why it's 4 pages. I say that with love.
But basically, it was to establish the Clean Communities Coordinator, establish a vehicle to process the grant money that we received from the state, and work in harmony basically with the land use board.
And why wouldn't we just do on our salary ordinance every year, Clean Communities Coordinator, and set the salary and be done with it like we would anybody else? Why do we need all of
Well, we
this?
need to establish the position
Okay.
now, because
So add
we
it-
need that position.
Okay.
It's going to be, the short answer is we're going to do it by ordinance after the first of the year.
Okay.
We're doing this, going to be converted into an ordinance.
Establishing a position,
Right.
setting
But
forth the duties.
The core purpose was to make sure that the people that were in
doing the job this year, we're going to get compensated, and the money we're going to be dispersed if we need to disperse them ahead of time. And we also put, I also put a thing in here about the recycling coordinator so that we would have, we know to eliminate the Phillipsburg issue.
No, this is actually, reappoints, it says reappoints Kevin Devane. He's already appointed.
Right.
But he's, okay, the Phillipsburg issue, you need to have a certified recycling coordinator, which is Kevin Devane, but he is not certified. So the recycling tonnage grant, is submitted to NJDEP.
So the word certified is not in here.
NJDEP,
It's
is
not valid.
required to have a certified person. So the person
not
in
valid.
Phillipsburg, I prepared the tonnage report, gave it to her, and she submitted it on behalf of the township.
Thank you, Gary.
Okay, Jim, what do you need, in other words, because you do this grant stuff, you need the position established,
I
right?
need the
That's what you
township
need.
to have a formal, an individual
Exactly.
named and in that position of
Agreed.
Clean Communities Coordinator.
But
It
not
was
all
after the
certified.
salary ordinance was introduced, and we needed a vehicle to deal with the Clean Communities Fund. That's why,
In my opinion, I always subscribe less is more. This is way too much. Like, for me, it's way too much. If that's what we need, then why don't we just make a motion right now, since it's a resolution anyway, it doesn't have to be in writing, make a motion establishing a Greenwich Township Clean Communities Coordinator
Agreed.
for a salary not to exceed $2,000.
Well, I think it's 515 of what it says.
Okay?
So what's the salary?
Because we're doing actuals.
We're going to do that next year. We already have a salary ordinance. You're going to have to wait 2 weeks. This is supposedly to establish the position.
Well, and to pay him for
And
14?
do we have a job description?
We're going to do that by ordinance. We're going to do that by ordinance. That's next year.
Do we have to pay him for 2014?
I'm doing the grant.
Okay, then how about if I make a motion to establish the position of Clean Communities Coordinator without even reference to salary, since it's now December 18th, and the year is over?
Yes, so that establishes
Jim.
the position.
I'll make that motion.
Do you want a salary in here? Does he do any work that you want to
I think
compliment
next
him
year
for?
would be,
Next year will be
Better?
fine.
Okay.
would be
All right.
better for
I'll
the...
second
Okay.
it. I'll second it.
Comment, roll call.
Bailey? Miliani?
Yes.
Adams?
Yes.
Rose?
Yes.
Leon?
Yes.
Now that we have a Clean Community Coordinator, can I have a status update on
Call him up. Call him up.
Okay,
We'll have to call him.
yeah, we'll have to call him up. Okay, here's the status from the,
Kim has been diligently working on this
okay.
in the back office here for us.
The township received notification because we did get grant money of like $11,000 recently for our Clean Communities grant, that we are behind with our statistical reporting. So I went online and pulled up the report, and there's a lot of financial data, which I've been working with the CFO, and we got the financial data for this report that is due. There is a lot of things as to roadside cleanups, and if we've had any type of programs and things like that. I've asked Kevin Devane to help me out with, roadside cleanups, who's done roadside cleanups.
Getting an accounting of what has occurred in the past to satisfy the reports.
So I think what
Have
I'm
we
going to
submitted
do is,
anything?
at this point, before the end of the year, I'm going to sit down with Committeeman Adams, and we are going to complete this grant, and we'll get it submitted in electronically so that we're compliant.
I'll let him know.
Excellent.
Okay?
Excellent. Thank you, Kim.
Thank you.
But we have 3 more years to do
Yes. We haven't submitted anything yet.
it. No.
Okay.
No. That was they got us for the year of 2010, so we have 11 and 12, 13.
Good. All right. We'll get caught up. Yes, you can.
Yeah, okay.
And we'll pull them into the loop, get the training done, and between the three of us, we'll make it work. All right, JCP&L tree cutting service. I had this on here, I don't know why I had it on here, to be honest with
You
you.
had it on the residents, you had it on the website.
Yeah, so, Joe, I think I'd sent this to you at some point, and Kim, and I went back in the notes, and actually in our minutes that I actually reviewed prior to the meeting, it was noted in there, I guess, from earlier on, when you were notified from JCP&L.
And I notified, yeah.
Of the tree cleaning, yeah.
Yeah.
So, it came up,
they came at our request. I had asked them to come proactively before the storm season to cut the
Oh, good.
limbs away from the, so
Okay.
they came at our request.
I know they came, and I was speaking with a resident as well, and I didn't have an answer, and I found out we had this phone number and whatnot, and said, wanted to advertise it on the website for residents to call.
So if anybody sees
Nothing.
a limb hanging or whatever, the number's on there.
Or
Get in touch.
it looks like it's over the road,
Yeah.
yeah.
They pay for it. They
Oh,
pay
yeah.
for it.
And you'll see their
Not the county,
they do it.
and that's free.
They hire a service, and they come out, and they make sure that the lines are protected. You'll see it down Greenwich Street.
That tree, how they cut that tree, they should do that together.
It appears, yes. There's a tree on Greenwich Street, west of us, okay? Just as you come over that hump, you'll see there's one tree.
Oh, okay,
Yeah.
that's
all good.
It looks blatant, like it's going to fall into the road.
And she's a big, that tree is a
Lifting up the,
It's a big tree, and I know in my email exchanges, I think Bob had commented on this, Bob Vetcherson, that the tree is actually sound, in that it will not, it appears that it's going to fall over, but it's apparently sound. But
It's,
Bob likes to make nothing against Bob.
no, Bob's a smart guy, but I think the tree service is the right company who would make that claim. Be that as it may, the fact was, I put it on here so that the advertising will be on the website, so any resident can call when they see a tree in a precarious situation with a set of power lines. That was
Great.
Payroll, so we had some discrepancies with payroll, and some people were getting the right money, some people were not getting the right money. I had requested that we get a signed verification by each employee that their pay is correct. The last thing I want is someone who's, a part-time type worker who's getting errors in their paycheck so that their paycheck is basically, pennies on the dollar. So, do we have that?
They were submitted out to all the employees, and the employees, we did it for a 2-week pay period, two different cycles, and they had to sign off on it. If the paycheck was okay, we submitted to the CFO, who does payroll. And if there was any errors, they were to indicate on the sheet any problems they had with their paycheck and submit it. So she was in receipt of them. If there was anything, she made adjustments. I haven't heard.
Yeah, my expectation was that we were going to have that in this packet. I'd like that for the next meeting, that each employee sign off on
Is
their
that part of
payroll.
what you just sent me, discrepancies with a few of the
no,
officers?
that's a different one.
Is that different? Okay.
It's now my expectation for the next meeting we have. And the technology report, what tab is that in, just for reference? There's a technology report in here.
It's probably the
End of tab 4.
middle.
I think it's an actual email at this point.
It's an email from Jeffrey. It's after your resolution that's in there. So your resolution is,
73, which doesn't exist anymore.
okay. It should say technology report.
Okay, so just a reference that the technology report is in there. And that's it.
And, just an update real quick, that pool call, and today, they're going to be coming on, Monday, and installing a server, which is a monitor, tower, and keyboard,
Mhm.
the server, in my office. Has that been, I just want to verify, it's been determined from the committee here that the server's going to be installed in my office?
I don't think we determined, I don't think we
I don't think we
determined
made a decision.
actual
Well, he's coming to do it,
location.
he wanted to do it this afternoon, and I said, I don't think, I have to check with the committee. I don't.
This server could probably be better housed, like, in the downstairs
I was just
circuit
going to say,
room.
how about in
Yes.
my office filing that I have in that room down there now?
Either there or in the room with the
Right,
backup,
has to be secure, right.
backup power
Put it in with
supply.
you, right.
Put it in with your records.
Put it in with
Just,
my
Yes.
records?
you can even mount a small shelf there and put it up there.
Yes.
It's
I
fine.
think that would be better?
Yes.
Perfect.
Okay.
Joe, regarding my one walk...
By the way, do we need a motion to authorize that or no?
No, it doesn't mean.
Yeah, let's do a motion just like that.
A motion to authorize the new server to be served in the downstairs
They always,
I
it
know
always works
I
that
know I
way.
was doing that.
Why?
I'll make the
Something
motion.
happened last week. You said that.
I'll make the motion to stick the computer in the,
And I'll second it. Comment, roll call.
Bailey,
Yes.
Similiani,
Yes.
Adams, Florida.
yes.
Thanks for your suggestion, Kim.
Yes.
Joe, do we,
I didn't, Michael.
I'm trying to recall our conversation. I went through a few things this afternoon. So it was the CFO. I have a list of things, we were going to discuss.
Yes.
It's executive. I don't think it's executive, but do we need to authorize you to do something, or do you want to discuss this in executive?
It is, it's, you know what? That's a good question. You may want to, why don't you whisper in Frank's ear and tell him what it is, and I don't know if it's executive or not. I'm not sure. It may not be.
We would take action there.
No, I didn't get to that. What he said, what he said.
Okay.
That's okay.
Yeah, that's fine.
But we definitely...
It can't be that long, going in the paper, will be thousands of dollars.
We'd have to take out a bond. No, I know.
Not really, but I think that's what it comes down to, is requesting the time necessary to accomplish these things. It's really I think a request to, make a request of Alfred to grant Lorraine the appropriate amount of time necessary to complete her tasks here.
Okay. So the motion is to authorize me as mayor to send that letter making that request on behalf of Greenwich Township as part to ensure an orderly transition.
Yep. And it outlines the year-end activities.
Understood. Okay. All right. So how about this? I'm going to, a motion authorizing the township attorney to draft the letter on behalf of the mayor. For the mayor's signature.
You want me to just send them an email?
Yeah, pretty much.
He's already...
No, but he's already adding to it, so I want to make sure that it incorporates everything.
I'll draft it for your signature.
Yeah, that's what I said. That's the motion.
I'll
Second. You go ahead, Jim.
Who made the motion?
Jim did, Elaine seconded. Comment. Roll call.
Bailey?
Yes.
Similiani?
Yes.
Adams, Florida?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. I'm done.
And you're only 5 minutes late, Jim. That's awesome. Thank you. Tom,
All right, cool.
see if you can make up the 5
All
minutes.
right. For OEM, what is it? There's I need to make a request of Lorraine, the CFO, to open the OEM budget line item to accept the proceeds of the sale of the camper that was auctioned, that was voted on, that we were going to put that in the OEM budget, and it's not there. So Joe is, Chief Maxey is the OEM coordinator who, he needs to buy some things, and he wasn't able to do so because the PO doesn't have it. There's nothing available there for his POs to flush again.
First of all, I want to clarify, when you said you want a motion to authorize it, she was already authorized. She was
No, I didn't say
directed.
motion. I just said I want to make a request that she does this because she's already authorized it. It's a reminder.
Yes, exactly.
I mean, this
I
is-
want the record to be clear that this is
Right.
now the
We're
second time we're
reiterating.
asking her to do it, because
Right.
she was directed at a prior meeting.
I think it was in November, the last November meeting I had.
Yes,
Right.
to take those funds and put them in that line item
Right.
so that they would be available so that Joe could make purchase requests. And the fact that it hasn't been done right now is negatively impacting our operation.
It was the November
So-
6th meeting.
Joe, I'm sorry, you have pending line items you need purchased at this time. You have the things we discussed, those items. Did you create purchase orders for them already? Because you can't create them without the money being in the
Exactly.
product. I understand. I just want to put it on over here.
Do you want me to read the minutes from last month?
Sure.
Yeah, why don't you quote that?
Yeah, so, November 6th, meeting minutes, proceeds of sale of computer to OEM.
Right.
Committeeman Clark made a motion, seconded by Mayor Torriello, designating $22,551 proceeds.
2,200.
Well, it's written.
It's written.
$2,551 proceeds from sale of police computer to OEM budget.
Right.
Everyone voted in favor, no one was absent.
What is
It's a camper. Oh, it's a camper.
I'm sorry, police camper. I can't.
So, Jim, can you follow up as the
Of course.
supervisor and please direct
There's
her
also-
to make that transfer
Kim,
forthwith?
Kim, there's erroneous charges to the OEM budget?
Charges that were taken out of his account.
Placed against the OEM?
That
Yeah.
needs to be...
Reversed.
That needs to be put back into his account.
That's why he's got the money in there.
Management paid for the sign, the battery backup out on Greenwich Street.
Oh, that shouldn't
What
be.
else was there, Joe? Let me look here. The fire alarm.
Well, so is that the list of items in the,
Joe, thank you for catching that.
Right.
Oh, here it is.
We will have it reversed.
Yeah, $209, $184, $164.
Does she understand the
Doesn't
difference
sound like a
between
lot, but you know
OEM
what, it
and...
is a lot.
Actually, for the sake of time, Jim will follow up.
Right.
He will make sure that the money goes in and that any charges that were wrongfully there will be reversed and posted to the right line item.
I'll let you know.
Anything else, Tom, that
Yeah,
you'll think?
I've been investigating a fuel tank monitoring system for the refueling of all of our vehicles outside on the gasoline tank. I've been working with another township, in central Jersey, along with Kim, who are using a certain system that the vehicles, will have a ring placed around the opening for the gas tank, which will read and recognize the fueling mechanism, so that we can assign certain people per shift. It will recognize who's supposed to be working with what vehicle, and it will either dispense or not dispense fuel based on the information. There'll be a special code for each person, whether it's whoever's refueling to put in a code, whether it's a badge number or an employee number, plus 4 digits of their social security number, plus some other arbitrary number to put in there to make sure that the fuel will be dispensed properly, just because we don't right now have any mechanism to figure out which department or which area is taking what fuel when on what day. So we need to start doing that from an efficiency standpoint, for a cost standpoint, and budgetary standpoint.
Yeah.
It's an excellent suggestion, Tom.
So we're very close. I thought I was going to have it today, and I'm working on it. So that will be very quick and forthcoming, and the implementation is very, very quick. So it's not difficult at all.
And the system also has a software where we'll be able to generate reports
Perfect.
to each department, vehicle.
Each day.
Excellent.
Right. And it'll be loaded in by items.
So Jeff needs to know that.
Yeah, that's exactly the type of oversight.
For example, I mean, if Gary's rigs have numbers on them, and the chief has numbers 9812, 9813, we'll know exactly how many gallons was dispensed at what time on what day to what officer or personnel at that time, and it'll get dispensed immediately to each budget, so we can break it out from a budgetary standpoint. So instead of having this one big nut of fuel, I mean, nobody knows what's going on and who's got an increase of fuel, and does that increase in fuel marry up with activity in departments and things like that. We just want to make sure that we can keep that under, to let the taxpayer know we're keeping an eye on the ball with regards to fuel and stuff like that. So, well, I should have that before next meeting.
Great.
Thanks, Tom. Is that it?
Yeah.
No, okay, Angelo?
Okay, let me get the emergency squad done first. I want to make a motion to appoint Blaze Strouser as the new emergency squad member. I have the motion for that.
Make a motion.
I'll second.
Comment? Roll call?
Yes.
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 Okay, under economic development, I made copies of the packet that I got at that meeting from the county, so you can check the accuracy of what they put out. So maybe you can let me know for the next meeting if there's anything there that
It's in
should...
here, I didn't see it.
Yeah, it's in there.
Okay.
They can,
With Taylor's name?
Fourth?
there's a lot of stuff there, so take a look at it and let me know, if
Oh, I
it's
see.
easier.
Okay.
Yeah, there's a lot of different
I got you.
stuff. At the last meeting, I brought up the county about the issue about Lynn. I mentioned to Jason, he's the freeholder who's the leader of the Economic Commission. And he said, well, let's call the engineer right now. So he walked down to the engineer, and I said, what's going on? Nothing's happening at Lynn. So he said, started to explain to me about how Mo's had to be informed, blah, 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 this, that, and the other thing. Apparently, things have changed as far as the configuration, so I called Mike to find out. Now, here's the thing. You were at that first meeting. What he said to me is that Lynn is, according to him, Lynn is supposed to do, he's expecting Lynn to make that change before they do anything. Was that said at the meeting?
No.
Okay, well...
I actually brought the photos with me.
Okay.
You got the email, I know, you
Yeah.
got called, and I know you called, so I got the email from the county, so I just forwarded it to you.
And that's the reason I called you, because
Right.
I'm thinking now,
Well, I was gonna bring this up as well. There's a number of, what do you want to say, parts of this solution. And in no order of importance, one is Lindy themselves changing the, maybe the location and/or the configuration and/or the orientation of their sign. Two are the signs for the county, Home Depot, ShopRite, Lowe's, those signs. And the third one is the cutting of those trees.
yeah, which was different from what
Right.
you mentioned last time.
Well, as of yesterday, I don't know if anybody want to pass this down, or look at it.
I'm getting tired of talking about Wendy's.
This is sorry, I don't want to
Just to put it up there and let them tell us to take it down.
Okay. As of yesterday, Bart Johnson was really kind of heading this up. Was looking at Lowe's, Home Depot, and ShopRite to pay for those signs. A, the county would install them. B, Lindy to do this, to reconfigure, reorient their sign, and the trees cut back that block the view of the Greenwich Station sign.
A lot of trees.
So I said, well, who are you calling about that? And he's like, well, the owner of the lot. I don't know where this stands now either. I mean, some of this stuff is just from yesterday.
She can say my father's
You're looking for people to pay for things that maybe benefits them a little bit, but it certainly benefits Lincoln. So I'm not sure. I qualify this as a half step backwards, actually.
Yeah, because, it's a lot simpler when you have that little small sign in front of the light there. Instead, now you're wiping out a whole bunch of trees.
Yeah. So.
Not only that, wasn't Lindy supposed to move there?
Yes.
Look,
Yeah.
we've been talking about this, and I'm not exaggerating.
Years.
Seriously, it's good.
When I decided to run for office, it was in 2011.
Mm-hmm.
I was sitting in the chairs in 2011. We were talking about putting a sign in. It's now 2015. 4 years to put up a $100 sign. I mean, okay, whatever. To put up a sign, it is so offensive. Here's what I'm proposing. We pay for the sign. We put the sign up on the county road and let them tell us to take it down. Because you know what? In all honesty, I'm tired of talking about it. I truly am. I don't want to see this on an agenda anymore. To talk for 5 years to put up a sign, if you haven't, I'm ready to blow my top. I don't want to talk about it anymore. I really don't.
I don't know. I haven't priced it out.
Can you please, here's what I'd like you to do. I'd like you to price it out, and I want to authorize not to exceed $2,000 to put the sign up on the county road and let them tell us to take it down. Because you know what? I don't want this on another Greenwich Township agenda. I don't want to talk about it anymore. I really don't. It's impacting our local businesses. It is causing confusion. It is a hazard when people are making U-turns and re-entering the roadway. And if the county doesn't care about its residents, and if the county doesn't care about maintaining its roads, guess what? We'll do the county's job. Okay? Because I'm done with it. I don't want to hear another discussion about this sign anymore.
We'll just get the price.
Please, it's crazy.
Just get the price, and that will be the only discussion after that.
It needs 5 years to put up a sign?
I'm sorry, are you done?
Come on.
Oh, I've been through a number of these
hear you, man.
lengthy discussions.
And you're right, it's not a half a step back. It's 2 steps back. This is honestly, Laurel and Hardy or Abbott and Costello could not script this better. We're right back where we started again. I need to take Dramamine to follow our conversations because it's so circular. It's crazy.
Can I don't show the message.
I understand.
Mike's
But I'm just like,
Mike's gonna
enough
catch your mask on.
Enough.
An email from late yesterday
Okay.
about this very fact. And here, I'm going to quote real quick. It says, would the town have any objection to tree trimming along Green Street? That's
Absolutely not.
Can we repeat it? Because Jim hasn't heard
Yeah.
it.
Let's add 4 more things to the project as opposed to sticking a sign.
No. Joe, there's a good solution, potential solution.
They've got that same
Done. Didn't you hear him?
Yeah, honestly, I really
I'll donate the sign.
I would suspect that you don't care. They're on private, well, this, I mean, do we care? Because that would help to trim those trees.
I don't,
All right.
just get the sign
Even
inside.
I care.
They're all evergreens.
Yeah, just get them in.
Oh, my God.
so. Can you?
I make a motion authorizing Mike Finelli to secure quotes for appropriate signage and to have Greenwich Township install appropriate signage for the health, safety, and welfare of its constituents in the absence of any meaningful action of Warren County. That's my motion.
I'll second.
Comment.
Third it?
Can we use the shovel downstairs?
Yes. I will dig the hole.
We have a ceremony shovel that we can use downstairs.
Okay, we're
Roll
just
call, roll call.
It's Ed.
Yes.
Yes.
I have a question.
Double yes.
I have a question.
Yes. No, you're too late for questions.
Yes, yes, capital. Yes. Okay, thank you. Now we're done, we're talking about signs.
Right.
Elaine, did you have a few things you wanted to walk on?
Resolution. Resolution authorizing the second transfer of current fund appropriations.
That's important.
In the amount of $36,294, and the resolution was walked on. I would say the CFO has put this together.
I will make that motion.
I'll second.
Comment, roll call.
Yes.
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 Yes. One more item, regarding the removal of the police trailer. Are we doing that oh, that's an executive.
That's an executive.
That's an executive, okay. So, with that, I guess we have, at this point in time, and it's not on the agenda, and for the folks who came to the meeting, we advertised this meeting between 7 and 7:45 for executive. We have a very, very ambitious executive agenda, and as it was, as you know, because you were patiently waiting out there, and I'm sorry, we didn't really start the meeting, the public section of the meeting, until 8:10. We bifurcated the executive session, so we're going to add a second executive session to complete our agenda. I will be making a motion to go back into executive session, so you know the items that we are going to be addressing, and we do anticipate action being taken when we come out of our second executive session, as we took action when we came out of our first executive session. The question I have to the Township Committee is, do we go into executive session now to discuss those remaining items and then take Michael's report, or do we want to take Michael's report now and then go into executive session? All right, well, Michael, we'll do you now, and then we'll, you want to talk about the signage on Greenwich Street? I promise not to yell.
I was actually going to bring that up just to try to be a little cute here, but...
Put your catcher's mask on.
All right, when I sent out my report, I actually put in my cover email, I told you guys to look at item 1, which is pilot plant performance, which we haven't talked about much.
You and I
Keep them
have.
over there.
Well, no, this is brand spanking new
Oh.
stuff.
Oh.
Just so you know, I would just recommend that you read the bullet, it's self-explanatory. I attended an exemption certification training program last week, which basically allows me to grant 5 different types of Highlands exemptions and whatnot. I mean,
You have the
we
power
are
to do
at a
that.
point now that you could theoretically even offer those services. But I've done that for one of my other towns who is a little further. Okay. But I was approached by a couple of the members when I was there. It was a pretty small group of people who were very interested in where we stand. So I think at some point we should talk about...
Since there's been no movement on
Right.
conformance
And
or non-conformance.
They sent, and I told them, I said, we're waiting for some response.
Correct.
I said, we sent out
Correct.
stuff months ago.
Actually, years ago.
Well, I
Well,
said, I said
we
many
even
months.
we even did the sewer thing.
Many months. So they agreed, because we're both obviously in the chambers. I said, I'll tell you what, I'll go back to my office, and I'll send you the correspondence that I'm talking about, so you know what we think, where the ball's in your court, and then we're waiting for a response.
By the way, there can be no ambiguity, because they came in an in-person meeting, and I was at the table when we asked for their input. So, just for the record and so the residents know.
So I did what I told. I got the letter. It was actually an email, and I forwarded it to him. And I said, here is. It went back to I forget what month now. And I haven't got a response yet. So the point is that they're waiting to hear from us. They basically made this recommendation. So we talked about the WMP development and how important it was and so forth. Okay. They basically said, Mike, if the town's really on the fence and they don't know whether to maintain their existing petition, planning and preservation, just rescind it and just do preservation area. And you can always go back if you want. At least it moves the process along. So I'm not recommending that. I'm not suggesting.
Why can't they let us adopt our wastewater management plan as is?
Because, Elaine, as with so many things, the rules don't allow it, and they will not. They're blind, and that's the period in a sense. So,
But you could tell them that you were the dutiful soldier and the message was conveyed, and we'll take it under advisement.
Well, I relayed to them.
Thank you.
In fact, we had I relayed to them that I would relay the message. So it's done. All right. They were like.
So are
really,
you going to contact them and let them know?
Well, no, yeah, I can certainly get back to them tomorrow. Just send them a quick, sentence email.
And by the way, Michael, with respect to you, and this is classic government, which is why government needs to be smaller. Government is, in the words of Ronald Reagan, doesn't solve the problems, it is the problem. And this is a classic case of all this concern about drinking water, right? So they create this entity which then approves an asphalt plant to be built over our drinking water to completely obliterate its core mission and purpose. So now we know it's a sham. So you get this agency that's supposed to protect drinking water that's giving blessings to building asphalt plants over drinking water. And we add layer and layer and mounds, and we have to have engineers present different color-coded charts of what's planning and what's preserving and what you can do and what you can't do. And we've got this whole government entity that's going to decide how we build our towns and what we do and where we can do it. And then after they get all this regulation and all this control, they now want to delegate their statutory obligation to make determinations to you, to do their job for them, to make their decisions. At bottom, you can't spin it any other way. They want to they want you to decide their regulations, so that when we either grant or deny Now, we're the ones involved in the litigation because it's your decision. They're nuts. Why would we do that?
This certification, just to be the rest of the lease, is for a very short list of exemptions.
I know, but it's still an exemption that could be litigated.
The intent, and to be honest with you, I think there's some merit to this, is to make it quicker, simpler, and cheaper for the resident. The guy who's owned the lot since well before '04 and wants to put on an addition, and he's in a preservation area. Which is a slam dunk, I think it's exemption 2, if I'm not mistaken. So they only got to deal with somebody at the local level. They don't got to even go to Chester. But that's the intent. I hear what you're saying, and you're right.
Maybe it really points to the onerous structure of the regulations in the first
But
instance.
to point, to Joe's point, we've submitted these plans and have gotten no information back from them.
Nothing.
Nothing. So even for us, having worked from 2008 on these plans, and you know, it was not an easy thing to get done, and then for them not even to acknowledge or say or anything other than, not even like we received it.
And they also brought up the funding as well, and so forth. The fact that,
We still have grant money there.
well, not. That's the other part of this. And I said, well, that's part of it. That's part of the many issues that the town has been trying to settle. So, again, I didn't want to spend a lot of time on it necessarily tonight. I just wanted to let you know, coincidentally, I was there on behalf of another municipality, but boy, they
honed in
were
on
excited
Greenwich,
to
huh?
see me, and it got, right at the end of the meeting, I got like accosted almost.
It doesn't surprise
But
me.
it was, they were nice about it. So, okay, I got accosted in a nice way. Is that possible?
Yes.
On some of the other projects, there are obviously wintertime, we're not really doing what's on hold, of course, for now. The county signage out here clearly that's not going to get done till the springtime because of the cold weather, not painting in the wintertime.
So we're putting up a schedule, right, Mike? So that we know when these things are going to get done?
We'll put on a schedule.
Let's make a schedule so that they
Okay.
actually get done.
Well, that's fine.
Okay.
Just an Excel spreadsheet with
That's all.
project, proposed,
Proposed start date.
Yeah.
Do them on trees that shape.
Well, the
One more.
DPW tried to patch some stuff up that needed to get patched up. And, let's see. Did I tell you about the county contacting me about the signage up the street for Lindy? Okay. And the inlet at 305 Hamilton Drive, which we've talked about,
Yes.
is, there's something done.
Done.
And I believe...
That's what I like.
Very good.
crossing things off the list.
I love crossing.
Me too.
And I
You have
want
no
to,
idea.
and that was my report. There's some other updates, items on here, we're not going to talk about each one. If you look at this report, and I'm not sure to what level you do it on. That's why we do the highlighting to point out the stuff. Okay, it's 19 pages long, and it's got 37 items. There are a lot of these that basically some of them just say, please refer to this report. And I think it's just a kind of a placeholder. So if you want to capital facilities planning, okay, go back to Mike's August 2013 report. That's where that item was in. There's some stuff in here that really...
I know, we talked about you streamlining the report and making it just a bullet point of what you wanted to discuss. In other words, I think a lot of that is more for your own internal management, but to the extent, but to the extent that we need to track projects, I agree with Elaine. I would be contented with just an Excel spreadsheet, what the open projects are, what the proposed finish date is, so that we know if a project is proposed to be
That can't
finished.
be an Excel spreadsheet.
No, that's a little different.
No, but with respect to, that's to me how action items should be tracked in terms of, and then if there's decisions that need to be made, you could just bullet point the issue and then open item, and what action it needs to be taken, if any, and
if
that's it.
something resurfaces from something old that hasn't been talked about in eons of time,
You'll refresh it.
you bring it back up on your report.
Correct.
I've got a pretty good memory, and I
Correct.
remember what's up. I'll tell you what I'll do.
No, what is it that we're interested in? This is
Right.
the age-old question we deal with at work all the time.
Reviewing.
Are we looking at end-to-end plan? Dumont Road completion, boom, this is when it's gonna happen. We know there's 1,000 things that have to occur.
Okay.
You know,
I will do this, and I...
What's our
And
requirements?
I've made this transition in at least one other town that I'm thinking of. How about next month, I'm
Give it a
going to
try.
give you...
Give it a try.
The, I'll call it the improved,
The new
short...
2015
just
version.
bullet,
Yes.
actually, that we really just deal with this, the items of, I don't want to call them
Value.
items,
Important.
the current items that are present either need to be worked on or have been worked on or will be worked on.
Okay.
Not stuff from, okay.
Perfect.
That's good. I think it'll be a lot more
Yeah.
user-friendly and not...
I do too.
Yeah.
So, okay.
I do too. Great.
That concludes my report.
Okay, thank you.
Sure.
Okay, with that, we're going to now go into executive session for a second time tonight, and I need a motion to go into executive session. Hold on one second, you're going to have to bear with me here, guys. To discuss,
I got the PDA down.
PDA contract,
Shared.
shared services police department, shared services municipal court, request for bids for goods and services, the former police trailer, litigation, Greenwich versus O'Dowd, litigation update, Warren County Prosecutor's Office appeal, and to discuss personnel matters, the status of the acting court administrator investigation, status of the police chief investigation, reimbursement, Emiliani, 2014-71, CMFO New Jersey Professionals, CMFO Administrator Advertisement, and Code Enforcement Officer. Can I have a motion?
I'll make a motion.
I'll second.
Comment?
I'll be recusing myself
Yes,
on one.
yes.
All right, so in terms of the folks in the audience, what kind of timing are we looking at to get through these items?
I'm going to say that we're probably going to need, you think 45 minutes?
10:15.
What's that?
10:15.
Yeah, we'll probably come out at about 10:15, just for time management purposes. Yeah, that's about right. Okay?
Roll call, please. Miliani?
Yes.
Adams?
Yes.
Sorry,
Yes.
Clearly.
Yes. Thank you, Jim, for the time management.
Time management, that's the key.
Yeah, Frank, can you open the front door, please?
Yeah, Frank, get on that, please.
Now? Okay, we're up and we're running. It's 10:30, I'm like, I feel like it's like midnight. It's like 5. I've been rapping
All right.
all night.
Yeah, that's right.
Santa's elf is very tired.
Yeah.
Your eye drops?
I got the, you know what, after I had the LASIK done,
You have eye drops?
my eyes.
'Cause I have dry eye syndrome. I've been doing most of it. Like those drops.
It's like gel.
Yeah, like during the day I just do this.
Oh, all right. I'll get
Okay,
that.
I will. What time?
1 p.m.?
Are we, Saturday?
See, if I wasn't, I was working tomorrow.
1 p.m.?
Earlier?
I can do it this
Can
time.
you do earlier? Because I
Big thing, it's a happy day. I'm giving birth.
12?
Giving birth. Get a new birth certificate, everything.
Can we do 11?
would prefer 11.
No,
I would prefer 11:30.
Some places don't have it on the first,
Yeah, I know. We go.
All right, let's do 11 o'clock.
If you don't mind, guys, I mean, if it's not
Just
that
drink a
bad.
little bit less. Don't be such an animal.
Hey, PA's on?
Yes,
Recorded?
okay.
We're good?
All right, can I have a motion to come out of executive session?
Make a motion.
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye. Okay, can I have a motion to authorize the township clerk to rebid the police trailer, consistent with the terms discussed in executive session.
I'll make the motion.
Second.
Comment. Roll call.
Bailey's,
Yes.
Miliani, Adams, Clark,
Yes.
Torriello.
Yes. Can I have a motion to authorize the township attorney to identify a police consultant for the purpose of doing a police departmental review?
Make the motion.
Second.
Comment. Roll call.
Not to exceed.
No, we're just identifying.
Okay.
Identify.
Yeah,
Roll call.
identify. Okay, I'm sorry. All right. Bailey's,
Yes.
Miliani.
Yes.
Adams.
Yes.
Laurie.
Yes.
Torriello.
Yes. And can I have a motion authorizing the township clerk to secure bids for goods and services for all of the items we discussed in executive session, with responses to be in by January 15th, 2015.
Make the motion.
Second.
Comment. Roll call.
Bailey's.
Yes.
Miliani.
Yes.
Adams.
Yes.
Laurie.
Yes.
Torriello.
Yes. Okay, got it.
O'Dowd.
Yeah, that 7 or 8?
It's 2014-70.
So can I have a motion to adopt Resolution 2014-70, a resolution authorizing attorneys to sign consent order extending time within which the plaintiffs can refile the O'Dowd litigation to allow additional time to effectuate a settlement?
Naming Mike Parlavecchio.
Naming Mike Parlavecchio.
I'll make the motion.
Second.
Comment, roll call.
Bailey's.
Yes.
Miliani.
Yes.
Adams.
Yes.
Laurie.
Yes.
Torriello.
Yes. Can I have a motion to adopt Resolution 2014-74 as amended, which is for the reimbursement to Elena Miliani for previously paid insurance premiums collected in error in the amount of $3,235.96.
I'll make the motion.
Second.
Comment. Roll call.
Bailey's.
Yes.
Miliani.
Staying.
Adams.
Yes.
Laurie.
Yes.
Torriello.
Yes.
I just have to put on the record, the cost of the attorney is not an easy thing for me to swallow, having to deal with that.
Can I have a motion authorizing our township attorneys to contact Alpha, the Borough of Alpha, consistent with the terms and items discussed in executive session?
I'll make the motion.
Second.
Comment. Roll call.
Bailey's.
Yes.
Miliani.
Yes.
Adams.
Yes.
Laurie.
Yes.
Torriello.
Yes. Can I have a motion? Is there a authorizing the mayor of Greenwich Township to execute and which would finalize a shared services agreement for the shared municipal court between the Township of Greenwich and the Township of Powhatan, obviously subject to the AOC approval?
Make a motion.
Second.
Comment? I would just like to say for the residents that this has been an ongoing discussion between Elaine and myself as members of the Shared Services Committee for Greenwich Township, and Mary Van Loo and Frank Becker of the who's on the Shared Services for Pohat. We've had multiple conversations. We've also met, by the way, as an entire, they've actually come to us as well, and we actually did a joint meeting of both governing bodies. So, this has really involved the collective efforts of all 10 of us, for both municipalities for some time, as well as some, meetings between Mayor Kearns and myself, and we, I believe, have and with the assistance of both township attorneys, the foundation for what we hope to be a really good and meaningful, shared service. We're in a situation right now where we're losing thousands of dollars in operating the court system. Powhatan is in a situation where they've, they have more capacity now that the red light cameras are, the tickets from the red light cameras have gone away, so there's an opportunity for them to take on, the addition. So this is a situation where really both municipalities, us where we're bleeding taxpayer money, and then where they're looking, they're set up to handle, administratively, the additional caseload. This is what we hope to be the proverbial win-win, and it's been, I think I'm going to speak for myself, but I think I would speak for all to say it's been a pleasure in having our discussions with Powhatan, and I've certainly enjoyed, conversations I've had with Mayor Kearns, and, I'm hopeful that this will address both municipalities' problems, and we'll be on a course of more, sound fiscal situations for both. So I'm happy to sign it with committee's approval.
You made the motion, right?
Yes, we did. It's just a roll call.
Bailey's?
Yes.
Emiliani?
Yes.
Adams?
Yes.
Florrie?
Yes.
Torriello?
Yes. And let me just see if we did this. Can I have a motion authorizing the township attorney to prepare an ordinance for property maintenance official?
Creating the position of...
Creating the position. Prepare an ordinance for the creation of the position of property maintenance official.
I'll make the motion.
Second.
Comment. Roll call.
Bailey's?
Yes.
Emiliani?
Yes.
Adams?
Yes.
Florrie?
Yes.
Torriello?
Yes. And then, yes, I did.
Okay.
Is there anything else?
Good services, got?
I did get that. Can I have a motion to adopt the findings?
Hold on a second, let me just, for the benefit of the record. The acting court administrator requested that this matter be held in public. Earlier tonight, I handed the committee the investigative findings of Joe Wenzel, who did an investigation on the acting court administrator. The findings were given out to you in executive, and you had the chance to read them. Following that review of the report, which I believe was 12 or 13 pages, just want to say that any discussion that's going to be had now is going to be held in public instead of an executive session based on the request by Ms. Fleming that any discussion be held in public. So I just want to preface that your comments with that statement.
We will offer comments in public session consistent with her request. And so that the residents understand, typically when you deal with personnel matters, there is not a discussion in public unless the employee requests it. And that means, and you were contacted by, who was contacted? I want the record to be clear.
I received the fax.
Okay, so you received a written communication from Sue Fleming. So therefore, there's no doubt that she was aware that this was on the agenda because she commented on it.
Yes.
And she indicated that she wants us to discuss this in public. Okay. So consistent with her request, can I have a motion to adopt the findings of Special Investigator Joseph M. Wenzel, which was submitted to Attorney Tadeo today, this date, December 18th, 2014, and it consists of his internal investigation report, which is, I'm going to count right now, 1, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. It is 13 pages. So can I have a motion to adopt the findings and the report of Special Investigator Joseph M. Wenzel.
I'll make a motion.
Second.
Comment?
Yes, I have a comment.
Mm-hmm.
In reading over the report, the report had findings which were over a number of years, and there were a couple incidents which were kind of closer to the period around the cuts, and things that happened in that period, and some things that happened a couple of years before. And although there were some things that possibly were not, exactly proper, taking into everything that this person did and does in the town, I just didn't feel that, I don't feel that, I feel that there are some things that should be done by the township that show that, these are things that should not be done, but it didn't come up to the level of that we're going to right now. It just, I don't feel it's as serious as we're going with this case. So I'm going to vote no on this situation because I think this person has done more for the town than, you have to look at the whole situation with a person. Some of the things they did inadvertently, and some things were done possibly in anger. We all do things from time to time that we wish we hadn't done. So that's just my feeling.
Any other comment? Roll call.
Haley?
No.
Miliani?
Yes.
Adams?
Yes.
Laurie?
Yes.
Torello?
Yes. Frank, now that we've adopted this, I'm assuming this is now a matter of public record, this report? Or is it not?
I'm going to forward it. I'll forward it to her attorney tomorrow morning.
Okay. And I guess, the security situation, because normally, you keep personnel matters dealing with the employee in private, you keep them in their employee personnel file. I don't know now that since Ms. Fleming has asked that we address this in public and we've adopted the findings, I don't know, for example, of whether a resident makes an OPA request, if they can get a copy of this now or not. I don't know the answer to it.
Yeah, look it up.
I'm going to be honest with you, but, I do want the residents to understand this is a very serious matter. This report is very serious. There are, according to the investigator who conducted this investigation, he raises potential criminal issues and cites criminal statutes. The infractions here are not to be taken lightly. As a former member of the judiciary, I could tell you that there are canons and code of ethics and separate regulations for judicial employees, and rightly or wrongly, they're held to the highest of standards. I believe rightly, because the judiciary branch of government is, as all branches of government are important, but particularly need to be without any regard to doubt or shaking of confidence. And there are, and I don't know what I can read and what I can't read, but there are in writing examples and opinions of potential criminal violations. And I think, given the seriousness of this, and giving the many different infractions that are found here, including creations of hostile work environment, not treating the public with dignity and respect, and some of the other unprofessional matters, and quite honestly, I'm aware of other violations, particularly in Canon 6 of the Code of Judicial Conduct, which isn't even, referenced in here. But there's a long and detailed history here of multiple infractions. And I believe, given the seriousness of it, yeah.
I was gonna, I don't mean to interrupt you, but I was gonna ask to have a portion of it read, but I don't even want to do that at this point in time until we get clearance, because, she's not in the room, it is personnel,
Yeah.
and, I don't feel comfortable, but I don't think, do we have an effective date? Do you want to make this effective as of immediately?
Well, I mean, we've adopted it, in other words, we haven't, we've adopted the findings in the report, and again, I'm having the discussion, and I'm sharing my view in public, because that's what Sue Fleming asked.
Yeah.
This is typically something where I would be saying all of this only in executive session without the public hearing this, but she's put it in writing, she wants it discussed in public. So I'm sharing with you, in light of the multiple infractions, including the potential for criminal conduct, I believe it's appropriate, and I'm calling for a motion to ask for her immediate termination, based upon the findings of this report and the seriousness of it.
I'll second that motion.
You're making the motion, Joe?
I'm making the motion. Comment. Roll call.
Bailey's?
No.
Miliani?
Yes.
Adams?
Yes.
Laurie?
Yes.
Triella?
Yes. Is there any other matter?
There's a couple of things.
Okay.
All right, you said
And
immediate?
I didn't mean to cut you off.
No,
I didn't
no,
know if you were going to start going into that.
Yeah. Oh, I know, actually, there's one other one. You said something about
Reorg, there's a couple things.
yes.
CNFO.
Yes, I'm sorry, Jim, thank you.
My things. Yeah.
Can I have a,
We're talking about security now for the building. And
Okay.
We'll
Getting
do that,
keys back.
we'll do it afterwards.
yes, and we're going to change the code. Can I have a motion to authorize the township clerk to advertise our a reorganization meeting for January 1st, 2015 at 11 a.m.?
1-1.
Make your motion.
I'll second it. Comment. Roll call.
Bailey's?
Yes.
Miliani?
Yes.
Adams?
Yes.
Laurie?
Yes.
Triella?
Yes.
CNFO.
And can I have a motion authorizing the retention of New Jersey professionals for providing temporary CMFO services until a permanent individual can be identified?
Can I just ask one question?
Yes.
Are we clear that they also understand ADP? Well, payroll.
We discussed payroll. Did I ask the specific ADP
Yeah.
question?
Yeah. Because if not, we need to also talk about
I'll make it,
backup contingency.
broader to an automated payroll system.
Can I rephrase the motion,
Please.
authorizing New Jersey, which I thought would have been assumed, but I'll clarify it, authorizing New Jersey professionals to identify and retain a qualified person to serve in the temporary capacity of CMFO.
I'll make that motion.
Second.
Comment. Roll call.
Bailey's?
Yes.
Miliani?
Yes.
Adams?
Yes.
Laurie?
Yes.
Triella?
Yes. And can I have a motion authorizing the township clerk to post an advertisement for a CMFO and township administrator?
I'll make that motion.
Second.
And the township administrator, you said?
Yes.
Jim Adams made the motion, who seconded it?
I did.
Elaine did. Yes, I will. Okay, okay.
Have to come back.
Yes, fair enough. Comment. Roll call.
Bailey's?
Yes.
Miliani?
Yes.
Adams?
Yes.
Laurie?
Yes.
Triella?
Yes. And finally, can I have a motion authorizing the township attorney to confer with the administrative office of the courts and the municipal presiding judge Kelleher to work out any transitional issues with respect to the Greenwich Township Court? moving into the, with the Pohatcon Township Court.
Make the motion.
I'll second.
Comment. Roll call.
Haley's?
Yes.
Miliani?
Yes.
Adams?
Yes.
Laurie?
Yes.
Torriello?
Yes.
Former police trailer?
We took care of
We
that.
did that.
We did that.
I was,
Anything else? Did I miss anything?
request for goods and services.
Yes.
The what?
Did you motion for trailer with no reserve?
Yeah, with the police trailer.
Yes, we
With no
did.
reserve?
Yes.
Reserve, yes.
Kim, you're gonna fax to all those things to drill tonight, including the Paula Vecchio one.
Did it.
Sure.
Okay. I know you're not gonna be giving them.
Yeah, and it has to go tonight. He needs to have all this for tomorrow?
Well, Monday.
Are we good? Can I have a motion to adjourn? Oh, I'm sorry. Yes, I forgot. Can I have a motion for, to open up the meeting for, second public comment period? Thank you.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Anyone wishing to make public comment, please come up, state your name and address.
Earlier in the evening, Resolution 2014-64, the school board election. The way it was worded, I'm wondering if the school board could be trying have an election, the way it was worded, school board member elections. Would they also try to sneak in a budget election? I don't know if that would be looked at to just say school board, all school-related elections maybe?
I think I asked the orderly that question, and I think he said that they, for the second question, they could have in, was it April?
No, he said it would be on the general ballot in November.
Well,
If
for
they
the second
wanted a
question,
second question, and the budget would be adopted in November with a 2% increase.
There will only be one election, it will be in
Only one
November.
election.
But, no, if they went over, they could do, they could do it in April.
No.
No,
That's what he said.
no, that's not what he said.
Who said that?
He's saying that the
The
auditor
auditor.
said that.
Well, I was, if that was the case, if there was that possible loophole out there, if that resolution was changed to say all school.
No, see, right now, the budget would be adopted with a 2% increase, just an automatic. But if they wanted a second question, it would go on the November general ballot.
Creation of a position for a property maintenance official, is that township property or, taxpayer property? And also the advertisements of the CFO, and also the township administrator, was it separate township administrator, or was that, clerk was the administrator? Created, or was it just a weird title?
Okay?
Do you want to bring up this thing?
Yeah, after public comment.
Joe, actually, 602 South Main Street. One thing, OEM-wise, that came in after the request for the reports and stuff, on the hazard mitigation grant program, I got a deadline for a request for information by January 18th, and a couple things on town-wise. I don't know if there's any budget meetings scheduled here for this month and stuff, but a couple things. They're looking for the project design, the bid development, and award, which will probably meet the state standards and the requirements and stuff, testing, inspection, so forth. But we got to start planning on the financials of this, because this is a reimbursement grant for the emergency generator for the building. So funding, they want to know there's additional information that we're going to have this funding in place. And then the last thing is they need provide the most recent annual operating budget for the municipal function agreements township. So I'm going to need some of that stuff too. And I got a January 8th deadline for that.
8th or 18th?
What is it that you need, January 8th?
So you need you need the township finance budget?
That's what it's asking for, municipal function, annual operating budget for the municipal function for each township.
Can you use,
So 2014.
yeah, 2014.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, okay.
It just says an annual, it doesn't say multiple years.
But what kind of match are you talking though, Joe? You're saying that we have to put some funds towards this?
Actually, what this is, and this is, I got the price we're working on 2 years ago, we were at $70,000. I'm gonna have to quick, get some other prices and stuff here, and at the present time, the main hazard mitigation grant was 35, and then we were approved on the county hazard mitigation of a little over 10 grand, 45,000. The rest comes out from the...
So we would be looking to not put the balance in, is what you're saying?
Well, no, this is a reimbursement grant, so we gotta expend the money.
And then they reimburse it.
Once it's
So we have to
all
expend
approved,
70, and they're going to reimburse us about 45.
45, right.
Got it.
Right.
So that's for next year.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's all.
But it's...
Thank you,
it's
Joe.
budget.
Anyone else?
I just have two quick things. Chief Freeman Township. Maybe you'd ask about the 5K, some of those 5K questions. In the email I was talking about that I sent the deputy mayor, I CC'd John it. I think in that email I advised to the Roy North if they would look into having the event at Greenwood School utilize their property. And that was back when they were talking about doing it on the South Main Street Beatties Road. So I don't know if that was presented to them or whatnot, but that was another avenue to look at, as you were discussing before, to avoid being on the township road.
When you entirely on the Greenwich? Entirely on the Greenwich property? Well, that was ruled out.
To talk to the school about, having your own property. If they
Well, their own 5K is off their property. You know, they're not even...
property, but I
Right.
was talking about if they wanted, because I told, when I sent that email, I told you that how the problem with the Beach Road and the South Main. If they
Right,
wanted to
we
look
moved
into
it from
running
that.
the whole thing on the Greenwood School property, I don't know how much areas there are, how many acres and how many lots.
Yeah, we can plate that and can we mandate them to use their own property?
In that price, and it included that email, I had the approximate price of $862.05. It was going to cost for the officers that would be higher or lower on that.
What was the breakdown? Refresh my memory, how many officers at how many hours? How many officers
in
at
the last event?
Either of the 5K runs. You're using the same amount of officers, correct? For each?
Yeah, the same amount of officers, but however, it depends on what day it is.
All right, so let's say a non-holiday.
So if there was more, more officers working on one day, obviously I wouldn't have to call more officers in overtime.
Right.
I can pull a guy off the road to do that if I have another guy coming and call.
Right. So there should be two scenarios there, I guess, on a...
Right, and then, but also you have to look at too, if they had the event on a holiday,
Right.
Holiday overtime.
So let's say non-holiday.
So the non-holiday, like I said, depending on the day, that was the $162.05. That could be higher or lower also depending on which officers get, because their overtime rate's going to be different.
Right.
So, and the other thing was you're saying the termination of the court administrator was tonight. And I just want to know to tell my guys if there's something that they're going to need, such as a warrant signed or a commitment done, who shall we contact?
We're going to talk tomorrow.
That's right, that's going to be part of the discussions that we've authorized the township attorney to address with the municipal managing judge, Kelleher, and the AOC.
If I get something, though, tonight, in the meantime, while you're discussing this, what would you want?
Go to the next town.
Do a call out.
Right.
Once it's not available.
Right.
Back up.
I just want to get that.
Throw the poll hat. Thank you.
Before we close, I want to talk to get...
No, let's close, now we...
Motion to close the meeting? Or close public comment?
I'll make the motion.
All those in favor?
Aye. And I got one other thing, Gary pulled me over in the hallway. We have a dumpster out back for the police trailer and contents that we're filling up. They have some water-damaged rugs and wood amounting to like 3 4x8s and rug coverings for that. You know, wanted to make sure it was okay to use our dumpster for that. So, I just wanted to...
Not enough for us to handle that.
Right, no, absolutely.
Too big for the cans that we have.
Yeah.
Don't worry.
Sure.
All good.
Yeah.
And I have one other thing. The emergency squad has deliveries sent to the municipal building that Sue usually accepts. So how do you want to handle that in the meantime?
Emergency squad's gonna-
Goes back to the
The
squad.
ones that were here in the hallway, we'll have them...
Reissue to the squad.
Oh, okay. So that's handled? Okay. Fine.
All right, thanks.
Motion to close the meeting?
Motion.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.